Hi, Capricorn. All right, welcome to this place, and welcome back if you're returning. All right, so November. Firstly, thank you for showing up. I hope this inspires you in some way or helps you work through what you've been thinking about or feeling. And again, it's always nice to see you. Capricorn has been you have been a very significant part of my journey. Very much so. Before we jump into more fully into your reading, I just wanted to mention, so I created a deck of cards, an oracle deck called Zumi Wisdom, and it's in honor of my teacher. Some of you know her. But it's a limited run. I'm just doing a little small press, everything myself. So if you'd like to check that out, I'll put a link below, and feel free to share with other folks. There's a lot of inner child energy in it. We work with that naturally, light and shadow. It's color theory. It's been a fun project, and I'm excited, and I know that the people that are meant to have it will find it, just like this space here, right? So on to the show. So the first card you received is pleasure. Taurus talked about this. Maybe some of you have Taurus placements that are important. This specifically says, find what brings you pleasure. Nourish your desires and seek moments of satisfaction. This card encourages one to follow the day at hand in search of a genuine smile. Seems simple enough. Simple enough. Because you're allowed to do that, you know. You know, and depending how you're showing up here for Capricorn energy, it's like it all varies, but the foundation of it is, I find that Saturn rule signs have a hard time loving themselves as much as they help other people. Realizing that what they do is important. Okay. Let's go over your notes. Okay, not yet. I guess we'll see whether it comes up. Let's actually choose from the Zumi Wisdom deck. We'll be using it. We've been using it, but let's choose from that and see what the story is for this time, or some key components, and you can fill in the story according to your timeline. Okay, Capricorn, for whenever you arrive. Purpose. Very good. This says Polaris on it. You know, usually you find Polaris by finding the Big Dipper, right? The Big Dipper, and what is the Big Dipper? The Big Dipper is something that almost anyone that anyone knows, right? Even if you don't like astrology, you know much about the stars or whatever. It's like most people are like, there's a Big Dipper. It's just something in us, and it's a focal point, because from there, if we look off just a little bit into the distance, we find the smaller thing that is actually the guiding point. Okay. So the direction in this time frame is positive. Like where things are going. But I think with mood and attempt, it's a little bit of our natural tendencies of feeling, Virgo talked a lot about this, like unworthiness. Like I heard, is this enough? And what is the objective? Because seemingly the objective, the purpose is objective. It's not subjective. So what you're doing, what am I seeing? Well, I'm seeing a small tree. A smaller tree, but it still took so long to get there. And it's a good thing. It doesn't matter the size of it. But maybe that's the thing that trips somebody up, is like, well, I have less of something. So that seems negative. But the growth is positive, and again, the purpose is objective. It's not, because when it's subjective, I guess the ego can get really wrapped up into it, and so someone wants to ensure, again, that it's something is true. Right, prudence is about making good choices. What kind of good choices to make so that the outcome comes through and I keep seeing the word purity. It's like someone doesn't want to do the wrong thing. But again, that's that energy I was talking about that I feel like is natural to Capricorn specifically. Okay, let's expand on this a little bit. Do you mind if I smoke a cig? Did I even bring my smokes? I didn't. Okay. I guess I don't really need one right now, but I want one. Let's expand on this purpose and the objective. Let's see. Oh no, actually, let's look at pleasure first. Because, oh yeah, if this whole bigger thing, because this card can sometimes be life purpose. To me, there are purposes. We should never define ourselves so singularly in relation to something, because I heard we are bigger than that. My heart's even like getting bigger when we're talking about that, because it wasn't egotistical, it was just positive. Okay, but again, this is kind of serious over here, and then we have pleasure, which is just, all right, let me enjoy where I am again. That, all right, that tree has 3 leaves on it, it made it from an acorn, it's that tall, awesome. Does it have space to grow? Yes, it does. It's actually in its perfect place. If pleasure and purpose is something the objective is missing, oh yeah, before your reading, I saw that. It was like, I was thinking about you for a while, and then the words missing piece came up, and I couldn't quite it didn't quite show me whether it was ultimately something that you were missing that you needed to find, or if it's something that you'll never find. It felt more like it could be created again. That's also a show, Silverstein, right? But that's another story. Although there's something astrological with that. He's a Scorpio. Anyway, if what is missing, the piece that's missing here, is more pleasure in your purpose, and again, that being, you being really clear about that, then this card says this: in my distress, I call to the Creator. and he answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead, I called for help, and you listened to my cry. Because I could see that someone denies themselves pleasure as if it is not their purpose. And I saw someone busying around so serious about something that they forgot to smile. You know? I mean, Capricorn, we are more serious folks, I get it. But you have such a beautiful laugh. It's such an awesome laugh. Even your eyes light up, right? You can light up a room. And then I just saw the sun at the top of a mountain, like so much light. Let's see more about this purpose. So some of you are, your purpose is to be a teacher. Some of you specifically are meant to work with children. You could also be a father, mother. That's very significant. So, someone that's a key figure Who are your teachers? Like, who do you sit and listen to? And when you listen to them, it brings you peace. Who did you look up to when you were a little kid too? It's kind of what I'm seeing is like, maybe you've known, someone's probably, I don't know if they've known their purpose since they were a kid, but like they were preparing. Maybe that's the thing. If you feel like you've lost, again, purpose in something, or are looking for, I see the new thing, I guess you've been preparing for a very long time to be in this position. Even if there was a lull prior to this, you're coming up, right? You're coming up out of it. So your past has to do with your purpose. Your positive past has to do with the purpose. Peace are Saturn words too, and today is Saturn's day. Huh. Could also be some of you are really amazing, like some of you are beautiful healers too. That's your purpose. Okay. Let's see, let's expand on objective. Wish the sun was a little closer. It will be. If I stay right here and I don't move, eventually the sun will be on me. But I could move right now if I wanted to and just get closer to that. But then I guess I would have to continuously keep moving slowly. So either way, that's a place of patience, I guess. Okay. Whoa. That's a lot. Oh, your purpose is shifting. Some of you are being tested, but it's an interesting test. How do I explain this? I'm seeing the old and then the new. There's like the old and the new. And it's like, what do you want to believe? But it's kind of the same thing, just from a different... It's kind of the same thing, but in a different way. But that's sort of what's confusing, is like, how far out on this branch am I supposed to go? Because that could jump to another place, but I guess you wouldn't know if you could until you're closer to it. Okay, and then he's looking over at objective. What is this? The Ace of Feathers and the King of Chalices. Oh, there's kind of that light I was talking about. There's also this light. Can you see that? And then there's this light. So the light was behind someone. I guess it came... How do I explain this? The light was behind someone. That was part of the purpose. So what you saw was, or has been seeing some way or another, was shadow. You could see your shadow. The light was, again, behind you, above and behind you. But so that means the shadow wasn't big. The shadow has been getting smaller, because it's almost as if you'd have to look down to see it. It's not, but now, again, the direction has shifted. Some of you, Taurus's reading will be really helpful. Something has shifted to make you face like a different direction, and when you do, the light comes right to you. But it doesn't come without the... I heard persecution of the past, or purposes of the past. I mean, I guess we're smiling about it. Like, were you smiling about it if you were just listening? What was your facial, what was your body doing when we talked about that? Okay. I'm seeing the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So maybe someone's purpose has felt shaky a little bit. Oh, some of you also, I'm seeing Leo or Leo placements. Because right now, it's like, hold on. Well, I keep seeing the Saturn glyph, and then it goes into Leo. And then I saw someone dragging their feet. And then putting their head on a pillow. So someone's been working hard to get through things. And maybe that's why you received the pleasure card, because you need to know that you can relax. Taurus talked about this too. It's like, give yourself a moment to relax, right? Because your notes, so amazing. The groups where you're learning, happiness and such good conversations. Oh, it's beautiful. Right, the Four of Cups is actually, in some decks, called pleasure. That's what's with the pleasure card. So I heard, oh my God, how do I do that? It's like, maybe someone hasn't done something or hasn't had time to be able to, or find this, to make space to make this happen. Have you ever gotten mad at yourself for not being excited? Like not being able to express yourself the way that you fully? Yeah, I heard again. How do I do that? So there is, oh yeah, there's one significant, I saw a very significant, very highly aware male, and then a really good group of women. And then I wrote may feel, that's kind of Taurus energy, Taurus Cancer energy, or Taurus moon. And then letting go of protecting, put that in quotations for some reason, everybody. And actually, before I wrote body, it was like protecting every, actually the word every looks like energy right now. But there was a pause, like everything. Like, I don't want you to feel, oh, it's so hard, right? Because there's so many irresponsible people in the world. I'm holding my breath. You know what? I want to do what I'm going to take. Let's actually take Spirit's advice. What would please me is to have another layer and a cigarette. So I'll be right back. Why don't you grab what maybe would please you or make yourself a little bit more comfortable. Okay? Hi, you back? All right, there we go. Okay, I'm more comfy. How about you? So this is the thing. You work so hard, right? So friggin' hard. Constantly. You never really stop working. Even when if some of you, I just saw somebody who like smokes a lot of, like smokes weed or whatever, like even if there's a little bit of relaxing, I still feel like someone's always like reading a book or doing research on their phone or, you know, learning from watching a video, or is something where you're just constant. See how fast you're talking? It's the empty houses in your map. Huh? Or that's what I saw. Empty houses in a map. On a map. This month for everybody, it sort of sits in Leo. You see here? I added in a star per what's happening in the sky and even extras, and Leo's clear. So this is creative energy, and I actually saw, especially Cap Rising, like there could be creativity out of nowhere. And however, again, you want to define that for what you, again, want to create in this life, but I heard you're good at it. And I keep seeing the word wife. So there's something in someone's life that's sort of a missing piece or a part that's not really paid attention to, that needs something. Time, perhaps. Maybe that's part of the purpose this month. Is it pay attention to empty spaces? Or whatever is getting, pardon me, a lot of attention. What are you focusing on right now? Like, what are you looking at? Okay, then now look over. Okay, here's a weird exercise I know not everybody will be able to follow, but I'm seeing someone standing in the middle of their map. They're standing in the middle of their astrological map, a map. Like right in center point, looking at the 10th house, looking at the MC, looking at heaven. And then you want to turn to your empty house. So maybe there's only a slight adjustment. And I specifically kept seeing someone look over their left shoulder, kind of like 7 o'clock. Like if right in front of you was noon, right? Because that's what the MC represents. The 9th, 10th house is noon, right? It's the peak of day. It's one of our prayer. It's a prayer time, right? It helps us to keep track of time by praying 4 times a day. We don't need a clock when we do that. And we're way more in touch with nature, right? So maybe some of you are doing this. Are some of you Muslim? Muhammad has been teaching you. Some of you have also been learning from Jesus, or like different. What's in your 9th house right now? Oh yeah, Vesta's in your 9th house in Virgo. Some of you could be learning from religious texts at this time, or something. People that can understand those stories, maybe they define themselves like their morals like that or not. It doesn't. It's at very least they understand the purpose of those teachings. And again, I saw where that squirrel went to the end of the branch, but it needed to go all the way to the end of the branch, and then I saw the light coming to a person, like right on them. Right, this energy. It's like I'm granting you this, I'm granting you this opportunity. So what's being enlightened here? Pisces, which is always a friend of you, it's a positive part in your chart also because it's a sextile. It's like, again, it's a friendly place to tap into. Remember that. They talked about like a physical mantra or something physical, again, like something to look at. And that brought them some kind of shift in perspective. Astrotheology. Oh, some of you are so smart it makes you sad. Like the things you know and the things you've seen, but I think it's a lot of like I guess it's what you've experienced either way. Try not to let that bum you out. You know more positive things or things that bring you love than sorrow. So I saw someone turning dials as we're talking about that. My butt's kind of cold. Hold on. Big slab of concrete. All right. Let's look. My homegirl Alexandra made these cards. She's an amazing person. One of my best friends. Who's a best friend of yours that lives like at afar? Like who's maybe the furthest one that you just love, even if you don't talk all the time, but you know that you have such a deep, soulful connection with them. And yeah, who is that? Oh, my heart's getting all warm and big again. Let's look to pleasure because, oh, that's that game. Okay, if you were stuck on an island and you could only bring like a suitcase, like say like an average suitcase. I'm picturing like a 70s one, kind of rectangular, maybe a little like 10 inches deep or whatever. If you could only bring that, that's all, what would you fill? What would you put in that suitcase? I want you to really, please do this exercise, even if you've done it before, because it's going to tell you something. Okay, let's see. There we go. What do we got? 5. What's that about? The moon, of course. Of course. Oh, sometimes the moon, Taurus talked about this too, the moon might make you think that you like certain things, but you don't. And I'm seeing where sometimes like the body is so used to stress that it thinks that it's pleasurable, but it's not. It's stress. And I'm seeing the word again, stress. I'm actually seeing the card in the Zumi Wisdom, stress. It's like the head, it's Rahu. It's the head of the dragon. It's like we can't see and nothing satisfies, It's like, because the pleasure can't ever be satisfied because it's something that doesn't actually please it. Okay. Let's see purpose. Oh, this is a big shift. Ace of Cups, awesome. And, okay. Just a minute, please. I've never combined these things before. It's this is kind of new to me, so someone's trying something new in ways of the purpose and again, I think that's one of the most asked questions, right? What is my purpose? Maybe you want to go over that with yourself. And I heard, what are you responsible for? Because those are all your purpose. And I feel like there's something that isn't exactly in these categories that is a part of you that wants your attention. And this has to do with the pleasure part, the pleasing part. Yes, please. Right? Like, I'm sorry in Italian is dispiace, right? It displeases me. And what we want, piace. we want to. So maybe someone feels like, well, no matter what I do, it doesn't satisfy other people. It's not good enough. It's like they're putting it on somebody else, but that's not the point of it. Maybe that's the point, is like that's not the purpose, and that's what's making something feel shaky. I heard even though God loves you. Right now, I don't feel like any of you are building what do they call it? Like the Tower to Babylon or Babylonia? I don't know. I don't know much about either any of those places necessarily, so we'll back it up. Because again, I see someone wants to do the right thing, but they're sort of afraid to go to the end of that branch. And it's not even that someone was, you could go multiple ways and be doing the right thing. But the right thing to do has something to do with going closer to the end of something, or what feels like that. Again, because you don't know if you can jump to that next one until you're there and kind of assess it, you know? And again, it could just be a test, and then when you get to the end, it's like, I heard, it's kind of like the Fool, like you get to the edge of the cliff, and then once you take that step or you jump, then all of a sudden there's more land. You know, the branch extends, etc. It like creates a bridge. And that's a little bit of what I'm seeing in this card, is this extension of it. So I can see that if some of you don't feel deserving of like soft love, like someone taking care of you. Huh. But that's also changing. Because the light of Leo, what I'm seeing, the light of the sun that's behind that mountain, that's in this card, that then it was behind you and then comes into you, you face it. I feel like it's like where Leo is shifting into Aries because it goes into the head, right? But the light of it comes from above and within. Huh. Just a second. I feel like there was a big when was your last tower moment? You're gonna have a long reading. I hope this transfers right. When's the last time you had a big tower? A death, a divorce, you know, a health scare in the family, like something with your kids, you know, what job, you know, because that's, I heard finished healing. And now you can, because this, if you notice in this card here, there's rubble, there was a war, you know, and then after there was this like trouble, and like after that, then the light comes into a person, and then this character says that they want to rebuild. And I think this is more of a past energy. The past is also connected to this, where it's like the rubble of, I heard the rubble of yesteryear that lingers in a person's heart or mind, like in their body. But there's something that's purifying about that also now. It's so interesting, right? A chalice, a cup is in so many different kinds of stories. It's such a sacred object, and it's so simple. So I want you to feel worthy and deserving. And I no matter what changes are going on, whether those are ones that you are making, and or that which is happening around you and you're adjusting to it, again, there's also a big part of you that is your purpose that is not changing. Like, that is your purpose. What you're doing a big chunk of what you're doing right now is, again, your purpose. I guess we kind of went over that. Sorry. I get excited about it because I want you to feel, again, I see the words worthy and deserving. Right? This Ace of Cups. The objective is love. That's the objective. Healing is the objective. Sometimes when the Tower shows up too, it's like a what am I seeing? Well, I guess there could be something unexpected also. Because I keep seeing where there was something, then there wasn't something, then there was something, and then I saw like a heart monitor. All right, I'm gonna say that's that. I don't want to go too long because I think we're already over the jam. But if I gotta split it in two, I guess we'll be old school, like back in the day. Part 1, part 2. Thank you for being here, Capricorn. I love you so much. I hope this was helpful. I wish you the best in this season. Thank you for being so supportive of this place. I hope you enjoyed the pretty autumn scenery and sounds. And I'll talk to you next time.